Well, I'm a little surprised and annoyed I have to even cover this. But the first rant I should do is why free speech absolutism is the only position that doesn't advocate hatred. I know that's a little weird because a lot of people say, I believe in free speech, except. The moment you say except, you don't believe in free speech. When you cut out a man's tongue, you only prove to the world that you feared what he might say. That's a truth that people understand inherently. Anyway, here's my little script rant on this subject. Have you heard of the Streisand effect? Have you noticed, especially with the drug war and the idea that the death penalty works, that prohibition only seems successful at propagating whatever is prohibited by loosing it to the black market? Sunlight is the best disinfectant. The best way to reduce the number of bad ideas in the world is to engage with those who believe them and challenge those beliefs. If your ideas are better than their ideas, you might not sway them, but by having the debate, especially out in public, you will and do convince onlookers.
So, what happens when you're wrong?
Oh, Joey, I'm never wrong.
But you can't always be right.
Well, if it's your job to be right, then you're never wrong.
But what if you are wrong?
Okay, let's say that you're defending chocolate, and I'm defending vanilla. Now, if I were to say to you, vanilla is the best flavor ice cream, you'd say...
No, chocolate is.
Exactly. But you can't win that argument. So, I'll ask you. So you think chocolate is the end-all and be-all of ice cream, do you?
It's the best ice cream. I wouldn't order any of it.
Oh, so it's all chocolate for you, is it?
Yes, chocolate is all I need.
Well, I need more than chocolate. And for that matter, I need more than vanilla. I believe that we need freedom and choice when it comes to our ice cream, and that, Joy Naylor, that is the definition of liberty.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Ah, but that's what I'm talking about.
But you didn't prove that vanilla is the best.
I didn't have to. I proved that you're wrong, and if you're wrong, I'm right.
But you still didn't convince me.
It's that I'm not after you. I'm after them.
The best thing that has ever happened to the likes of Richard Spencer and David Dukes and anyone in those ridiculous fascist identitarian ideologies, the best thing to ever happen to Richard Spencer and company was being punched in the face. It wasn't on a major network. There weren't many people there, and he was just an internet asshole with a small following, punched into the public spotlight to become one of the most Googled people in the world. For an ideological activist, that's the best of all possible wins. Without his being punched in the face, nobody cares. Without the Berkeley riots, Milo doesn't become a bestseller. You are propagating the very people you want to reduce. I don't understand how it isn't obvious. It just is in your face obvious with everything else. If you oppose the drug war, you inherently understand this. If you oppose the death penalty, you still understand this. But when it comes to hate speech laws, you're suddenly in favor of propagating the things you oppose with censorship, with prohibition. Back to the script. By banning certain topics, you don't harm the propagators of those positions. You only hurt their would-be critics by now banning you only hurt their would-be critics now banned from engaging on the topic because the discussion only takes place in the social proverbial black market, in hushed tones with the air of a dangerous truth. And those leaders you jail rather than dismantle and debate, you make martyrs of. Their followers aren't convinced you are right. They're in fact all convinced each of them need to replace that void of leadership. And now rather than one asshole with an echo chamber of 6, you have 6 assholes trying to build their own echo chambers, self-certain of their ideas. And certainty is the root of all evil. Another video on that later. Prohibition propagates. Your advocacy of hate crime laws is your activism in favor of future hate. It is just the down payment, the seeds in the minds of the future mind that, hey, you may be afraid of that idea. And people only fear ideas they either don't understand or believe capable of usurping their own ideological worldview and causing an identity crisis through some Dunning-Kruger. There's no such thing as hate speech, just speech that expresses hateful ideas. Ideas aren't crimes, actions are.